Hey guys. So today I want to talk to you guys about something that I have intentionally not brought to my channel for a reason or two that I don't completely understand. So if you're not trying to be a part of what could potentially be a somber conversation, then I understand if you don't watch this video. I'll catch you in the next one. But today I wanted to talk to you guys about losing my mom. If you've been watching me for a while, then you know that last December, my mom passed away from cancer, and I'm not doing okay. I took like 2 months off after she passed and felt completely riddled with guilt for doing so. And I mean, I felt guilty for not coming back to work because, productivity overall and all that. I recently kind of did the same thing again. I took another 2 months off. And I will tell you guys this. There's a lot going on YouTube right now and a lot going on in the world. And 2020 has been difficult for, I think, the majority of us. But I've had a hard time for myself because losing my mom has shifted my perspective on so many things. And yet I'm having a hard time adjusting to like getting my priorities straight. And what I mean by that is if I have to take some time off from YouTube or from social media to work, I even then like cannot fully enjoy it or process it the way I need to process because all I do is feel guilty for not being on the internet. And that is something that I would have never anticipated would be so difficult about something that just shouldn't even matter. I mean, I understand realistically that most people who have a 9 to 5, if they lose a loved one, they have to go back to work and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So in many ways, I'm very privileged that I even get to have this, problem. But for me, what makes it so hard is that the way like the algorithm on YouTube and stuff works is like when you don't post, the algorithm stops favoring you. It doesn't push your videos forward. So when you come back, you really have to scramble to get everything together. And then like in my case, I came back in January or February whenever I came back to work, and I just was really phoning it in. And I kind of have been phoning it in all year, just doing like what I think I need to do. And even that takes like my emotional bandwidth out of me because I just don't know if I care. And that's part of this is you kind of lose sight of anything that used to matter to you because you realize how fragile everything is and how special the good stuff is and how unimportant like so many of the things that we worry about are. And like with my mother, my mom is the closest person to me in the world. And I don't have a close relationship with like my dad or my aunts or my uncles or my grandparents or anybody. I have my brother and my sister and like my mom and my best friend Jackie, and that's my like what I really consider my close family. And to lose my mom, like I talk to my mother every day of my life. Like you always see those things on TV. Well, people are like, call your mom. And I'm like, I call my mom every day, multiple times a day if she dare not answer. Like I talk to her all the time. And I would hear about people in my life, like in close proximity to me, losing their parents. And I was just always like, or their mom in particular. And I would always think like, I will never make it if I lose my mom. Like, I don't know what to do in the world without her. And now I'm living this whole new life. And I remember when she was dying and it became clear to me that that's what was going to happen. I remember telling my best friend, I was like, it feels like the world is ending. Like, and it does. Because, I mean, in a way, it did. Like, the world that I have known my entire life is over. It will never be that again. And then in the midst of all of this, we've been going through this pandemic and we've had huge social justice unrest and social media and the news and everything is just so dark and difficult, and I'm having a hard time adjusting to any of it, and I have this huge guilt and this feeling of failure that I'm not able to pump out content the way I did last year and make videos that hit certain metrics in a certain amount of time. Like being on social media, and it's in a way very much so wires you to care so much about that. That's like this dopamine hit you get when your content does well. And I just have so little in me to give. And I feel a lot of guilt about that. I feel like I'm letting myself down. But I don't know how to navigate like what I'm going through. I lost her literally having no idea, which sounds so stupid. Every time I say that out loud to someone that I just did not think she was going to die, it sounds so stupid. She was diagnosed last July. We're coming up on about a year. And from the minute she was diagnosed, and bear in mind, I live currently about 7 hours away from her, so I didn't live near her during any of this. And so I wasn't there, every day and seeing this. I never talked to any of her doctors. All of what I knew about it, I only heard from her and like my sister. And for some reason, I didn't believe her. I didn't believe anyone. I was in such deep denial about this. And I got the call a couple of days before Thanksgiving. And I remember I found this on my computer the other day, where around the time that I got the call, I was vlogging for Patreon. And there's a clip of me the day after I get the call. And all I knew when I got the call was that she's in ICU. And I didn't even understand that that was serious. Like, I was in such deep, disgusting denial that I have so much guilt about. But I knew I had to go to Georgia. So the next day I filmed some videos and packed my shit. And I was filming for my vlog, and I was talking to my vlog camera, and I was like, hey you guys, I'm going to Georgia. Probably be down there a couple of days. I'll film while I'm there. Like, just completely oblivious to the seriousness of the situation, like a idiot. And I just remember when I saw her, when I got to Georgia and we got to the hospital and she was in the ICU because she was having dialysis done because her kidneys were failing. I didn't even know it was her. Like, I knew, like, I saw her a month before at my sister's wedding, and I had like bargained with myself in all these ways, where I was like, it was like I told myself when I went down for my sister's wedding. It was the first time I had seen her since she was diagnosed. It was a couple of months, and you guys have to understand, like, my husband is gone most of the year, and when he's gone, it's not easy for me to just pack up and leave because I have, like, my daughter and dogs and all this stuff going on, so I can't just leave, and I carry so much guilt for not figuring it out. But, like, I didn't know for some reason. But when I went to Georgia and saw her for my sister's wedding, I was just like, oh, well, as long as she isn't frail, I'll be okay. Like, I was bargaining. And she looked good. Like, she had lost her hair from the chemo, but she wasn't like this, thin, gaunt version of her that I was afraid to see. And she got around fine, and we went shopping and went to lunch and spent time together, and everything was normal. And I mean, she was a little tired because she, every time she had chemo, it would take a little bit out of her, but then she'd bounce back and she'd have chemo again. And I think she was on like one of her last rounds when I saw her. And then it wasn't a month later that I got the call. And I just had no idea. And every time I say that, it sounds so stupid because everyone knows what cancer is, right? Like, I'd never seen it before. I didn't know, or I didn't accept. And then she was in the hospital she was in the actual hospital for about a week, which was traumatic. It was one of the worst experiences of anything I've never seen. For all the good doctors and nurses and hospitals out there, like, you guys are truly something to marvel at, because what I saw in that hospital was despicable. My dad had actually just lost his mother about a week before my mom died, so he was still dealing with the death of my grandmother. And then my mom was dying, so he was falling apart, but understandably so. And I did things I never thought I would have the ability to do. Like, I never thought that I could sit in a room with my mom was suffering in the hospital because there's all these legal things, these DNRs, and then they come to you and they basically want you to make a decision. Like, I'm at all qualified to decide if my mom should proceed with any more care because they won't say definitively if she should have it or not, because God forbid they have to put themselves in any type of position of making a definitive statement that could get them in trouble. Like, it was so ridiculous. There was two nurses that I met while we were in the hospital that were amazing. And I'll never forget them. But every other interaction I had in that hospital and every minute of it was so traumatic. And then basically what would happen every day is my dad would stay up all night with her, and I would come in the morning, and it wasn't this scenario where she was just laying in bed like peacefully. She was writhing and screaming in pain. So in the morning when I was there with the doctors, I'm just such a take control of the situation person. It doesn't matter what's going on. I'm going to get it sorted out. So I would be hunting down doctors and nurses and trying to understand this and get clear answers. And then finally, someone put me in charge with hospice, and hospice came, or their representative or whatever came and met with me. And I remember sitting there with them, and it was so weird. I'll never forget it as long as I live. It was almost like I was watching it happen, where I'm signing all these documents and making all these big girl decisions, because like I said, my dad wasn't there. It was just me. And it's almost like I was watching it, where I was like, I can't believe I'm doing this. I can't believe not only that I have to do this because my mom is dying, but I can't believe I have the wherewithal to do this. That I'm not in a padded cell or something, because when I found out she actually was going to die was the same day that I got to Georgia, and me and my dad and my sister went to the hospital to see her because they were she just got done with dialysis, and it was really kind of waiting through the night to see how everything went. And then me and my sister went home later on, and I think I was at my sister's house for a couple hours, and the whole way home and the whole time I was like, she's gonna be fine. Once again, deep denial, you guys have to understand. And my dad calls while I'm at my sister's house, and my nieces and nephews are playing, and I answer the phone, and all I can hear is muffled noises and not good. And I was like, wait, hang on. And I go into my niece's room. I probably traumatize this poor child. I go in my niece's room, and I was like, what did you say? And he's like, they want me to sign a DNR. And the scream that came out of me, I just remember I was yelling for my sister and kind of threw the phone at her. And then I go lay on my niece's bed, and I was burying my face in the pillow, and I was like, ah, if you've ever felt pain like that, you know what I mean. It's just primal or something. It just comes out of you and you can't stop it. And my poor niece is sitting there Aunt Whitney, bless her heart. So I had this huge, horrible reaction, and you feel all these feelings, and you think you're never going to sleep again or think straight or eat or smile or be happy. And then I'm sitting there making all these decisions, and then she got into hospice, and things were so much better when she got in there. She finally was resting and comfortable, and it was just a matter of waiting until she passed. And it got to the point where I had been there for about two weeks or so. And, my husband was telling me, because he's lost a lot of people to cancer, he was like, this could go on for a long time, honey. Stay if you want to, but you could be down there for months. Because everyone just kept telling us, every day they were like, you guys should come say goodbye. Everybody should come say goodbye. And every day we would go say goodbye, and she'd be there the next day. She was a tough old broad. And I remember it finally got to the point where I was like, I think I have to go home. I was just kind of bouncing from couch to couch, and I needed some space, and I wasn't doing okay. Like I said, I had been in the hospital and watched my mom die for days at that point. I was just drained emotionally, and Even if it meant that I got home and she passed, I was going to turn right back around and go home. Back to Georgia, it didn't matter. But the day before I was supposed to leave, I went with my sister. I took my sister to hospice so she could talk to her. And I told my mom, I was like, I have to go, but I'll be back. I love you. And then I went to Jackie's house and spent the night. And then the next day at like 6 a.m. when I was supposed to be getting up to leave, my dad's calling me and he said, your mom passed. And then I'm sitting there like arranging a funeral and bringing food to people and just really trying to take over the situation and help everyone. And I get home after all of it, and it just felt like the whole world just kept moving around me, and I had not even processed what had just happened. And that's still how I feel now, where the world is still just moving, and now it's moving in a direction that's really anxiety driving and scary and frustrating and confusing. And I'm still trying to process like what happened 6 months ago. And I feel guilty that I don't talk about it enough, but I don't talk about it enough because I feel like it makes people uncomfortable, and I feel like I'm not supposed to, and I feel like it's just a bad idea because it's not everyone's business. And then I feel guilty when I do it because I feel like grief and stuff like that is just something people hide. It's not something we talk about. But I have spoken to so many of you on Instagram, particularly when she was dying, and I kind of gave you guys an update of where I wouldn't be back for a long time. Tons of you reached out to me in Patreon. We've had many live streams and talked about this. I know it sounds stupid, but it was easier to talk about it with my patrons, like on a live stream, than it's been to talk about it with like people in my real life sometimes, which sounds so weird, but I don't know. It's true. I think it's because on Patreon, I just had people in there who have gone through it, lost a parent, and loss is loss. I understand that, but I just wanted to know what to expect from losing a parent because I didn't know what to expect, or I didn't even consider trying to learn what to expect if she passed at all, because like I told you, I didn't think she was going to. I truly didn't. And I feel so stupid, and I'll probably carry guilt about that for the rest of my life. And now I don't know where to go from here in a lot of ways. I've had almost like identity crises this year, where I think I'm trying to affix my sights on some point to strive to. At the beginning of the year, I said it was going to be aesthetic training, and now I don't think I even wanted to really do that. I think I just needed something to hold on to, and I've gone back and forth many times about what I want to do because I just feel so lost, and I think I am the type of person who there needs to be a plan. I need to know what we're doing, and I have to truly just sit with and accept the fact that you can't plan your way around this stuff. Like last year was one of the best years I've had in a long time professionally on YouTube, and even personally in a lot of ways. And I got there through planning and showing up and working really hard and trying my best. And at the end of the day, none of that stopped my mom from dying. And I don't think doing that again is going to save me from dealing with the feelings that I have about my mom dying. So I'm trying to manage that. I'm trying to find a happy medium between I have to keep moving forward, and I also have to have grace with myself and stop clinging to the same things I used to cling to. If I post a video and nobody watches it, or if I lose 600 subscribers, or if my channel dies, then that's just what's going to happen. I can't come on here and be a version of myself that I am no longer. That person's just died with my mom. So now I feel the call for some reason to be just really vulnerable and authentic with you guys and transparent and share this with you, because right now I'm sure we're all grieving things. Hopefully you're not grieving the loss of anyone in your life, and if you are, I'm really sorry for your loss, but I think we're all having to grieve the loss of something this year and having to make peace with it and figure out how to move forward with it. And I want to turn this into something positive and I hope I figure out how. But I feel pretty good about coming back to work now. I can't promise I won't dip out again for another 8 weeks. I don't know what's going to happen. I've decided I'm just going to take it as I go, but every day show up and try to do the best I can do that day. And sometimes the best I can do that day is nothing. It's just get through the day. But I do want to thank everybody who has reached out to me. I want to thank everyone who has supported me, who has been kind to me. It's hard being on social media when you're already really sensitive. You get negative comments about shit that doesn't actually matter. And you have to just sit there and be like, why am I doing this to myself? Why am I putting myself in this position where people can verbally accost me on the internet because I don't like their favorite makeup brand? But yeah, I hope that you guys are doing okay. I look forward to making new content, all things considered. I've been feeling pretty good, and I have some good ideas, and I actually have this thing inside me where I actually like really want to play with makeup again. Like I really want to play with color and glitter, and I just feel like doing that, which I never thought I would feel like doing right now. I look forward to it, and again, I hope you guys are all doing really well. Thank you for watching this video. Be kind to each other in the comment section. As a rule of thumb, can we all just be kinder in general? Like, shit's too stupid. There's just so much stupid shit that we worry about and get so mad about and fight about amongst ourselves for no reason. There's so many more important, special things in this life, but I'm gonna go. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.